All right, the Lions are getting good news, and we're not even into the bye week fully, right? So we are just getting started in the practice window. The Lions are getting good news, but it comes at a cost. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you some updates on some good injury news. We're going to talk about some not so good injury news, but more than that, we are going to talk about what the success of this team means for our coaching staff, for other players, for our front office, and we're going to talk about why this is a good thing, even though it comes at a cost. So let me ask you this question at the very beginning of this video. Leave something in the comments. How worried are you that we are going to lose one or both of our coordinators or someone from the front office? And then the second thing, like an Agnew or Spielman or something like that, when I say someone from the front office, then the second is who's the person you're most worried about losing? Like, who is it? Who is the person you are most worried about losing? Is it Ben Johnson? Is it Aaron Glenn? Is it someone that is not being thought of? And we're going to talk about that. So, we have a lot of things that are going on with injuries. All right, first off, David Montgomery. Dan Campbell went out and confirmed that he is planning on David Montgomery to play in the Lions' first playoff game. Now, anything can happen with this. He could re-injure it. We understand all of that kind of stuff, but there is an expectation that he is going to play in the first playoff game. All right, then he went out and talked about the two starters who left with injuries in the game against the Minnesota Vikings. I know some of you have heard this already because this news came out earlier, and the videos don't go out till night. So I'm going to do this quickly, but he said we got better news on Zeitler and Arnold, Campbell stated. I can't guarantee that they're playing in the divisional round, but it's much better than it appeared to be when the injuries happened. I think when you look at Terry and Arnold, everybody thought, oh my goodness, did he break an ankle? Did he break his foot? Did he break a fibula? Like we didn't know what was going on. Was it a high ankle sprain? Who knows? Now they're calling it a bruised foot. Okay. All right. So that's weird. But anyways, it's so much better. It went from being an injury that could have been very easily a season ender or at least a week or a month to month type situation. And it ends up being week to week. With Zeitler, it was a big man who clearly pulled up lame with a hamstring injury. That's what it looked like. And those injuries usually have about a 3-week revert time, but it depends. How severe was the hamstring strain, pull, tear? You don't know what it's going to be, and it looks like it's the best of all those worlds. All right, now the bad news that and by the way, another one. Enos Rakestraw. I do think there's a chance we get Rakestraw back, Campbell said of the rookie QB. He's trending the right way, too. It was kind of hey, yeah, we'll talk about that, too. That could be really important. With all the injuries that we've had, that could be really important. But again, here's some of the it comes at a cost part with the injuries. Cornerback Carlton Davis, Sam linebacker Derek Barnes. All right, Derek Barnes is not a surprise. Carlton Davis is a little bit. He broke his jaw. They thought maybe he could be back late in the playoffs. He's not going to return. All right, he's just not going to return. And so he's probably going to be out for the year. I don't even know if it matters how deep of a run that we make. He will likely be out for the year. At least that's what we're hearing at this time. All right. Now, let's talk about the good news. The good news, you got the number 1 seed. You saw Dan Campbell celebrating. I'm sure you've seen the clip of him in the locker room after it with the team. We've overcome so much adversity, so many injuries, so much doubt, and we are 15-2, the best Lions team to ever play a regular season. We are the number 1 seed. That is the good news. Here, this page will show you what the cost is. This is the interviews that are already lined up, and I'm sure there's been more, all right, by the time you're seeing this already, even though I'm recording it an hour ahead of releasing it. Aaron Glenn, Bears, Jets, Saints, Jags, Raiders, Patriots. All right, Ben Johnson, tell me if you've heard any of these before. Bears, Patriots, Jags, Raiders, Jets, right? The only team I don't see on there is the Saints. That's not the same. Everybody else is there. And then there's the unexpected. This is the one that I didn't see coming. Chris Spielman has being interviewed for a GM position with the New York Jets. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. All right, so he's interviewing with the Jets. Ben Johnson is not expected to be interested. All right, the Jets, but in his interview, I guess, isn't actually scheduled there, which is unique because Ben Johnson has said he's going to be picky. He wants control. And what that means is he wants someone to go with him. We have another channel, Sports Talk Extra. If you like us talking about other teams, we don't hide. I'm going to go record for Sports Talk Extra right after this video. I'm going to be wearing this sweatshirt. And I did a video on the Jags talking about their interest in Aaron Glenn. And in that, it was talking about how, not Aaron Glenn, I'm so sorry, in Ben Johnson. Whoops. Hello. All right. So anyways, they're very interested, the Jags are, in Ben Johnson. And they know that if they get Ben Johnson as their coach, that they will likely have to allow him to bring his own GM, like Agnew from our front office, or maybe Spielman or something like that, because he wants institutional control. Well, the Jags kept Bulky, from what I'm hearing, as the GM, so maybe they just ran themselves out of the Ben Johnson sweepstakes, which I was hoping, if Ben Johnson was going to go somewhere, I was hoping it was the Jags. I was hoping it was the Patriots or the Raiders or the Jets, right? I don't want it to be the Chicago Bears. I don't want to play Ben Johnson 2 times a year. Do you? But again, these are the things that happen when you have good teams. This is year 3 already, especially with Ben Johnson, but really heavy, and this is for the second year, of a ton of other teams wanting to interview our best people. Right? This is what's beautiful about this is that, like, if there's nobody internally that is ready to take over for Ben Johnson at this point, would they ever actually be ready? Like, who have we been hiring? Is it Scotty Montgomery? Is Brunell in the wings? I don't know. Like, I don't know who it could be. Is it Tanner Engstrom? Like, we've had a bunch of people that we've talked about as potential. What does that look like? On the defensive side of the ball, is there anybody that's ready to take over, or do we go to the outside to pick someone up? All right, Robert Saleh, I'm looking at you, brother. All right, if I'm telling you right now, if Aaron Glenn's gone. But again, this is what happens. Like, this is what happens. Now, I get frustrated, if I can be completely honest with you, with this coaching interview schedule date stuff. All right. When you look at Ben Johnson, he has 2 interviews on Friday the 10th, 2 on the 11th. All right. All right. What? And teams, if they want, can hire other coaches. So what frustrates me about all this is that if you are one of the best teams like the Lions are, if you make a deep playoff run like we hope the Lions do, you are now at a disadvantage when it comes to finding a replacement for your offense and defensive coordinators if you lose them. When it comes to finding a replacement for a guy like Chris Spielman, man, would I hate to see him leave. Do I understand it? Do I understand that Spielman's a very competitive player and he wants to be a GM somewhere? Of course, like, I understand that with Spielman, right? It just feels so weird seeing him somewhere that's not Detroit. It's so weird. And so, yeah, I do struggle with that. It's like, why are they letting everybody do interviews now? Doesn't the NFL want to own February? How cool would it be is if after the Super Bowl, boom, windows open, all coaching interviews, all that kind of stuff, go, do it, right? Now everybody has equal playing field. Why can't we do that? Everybody has equal playing field for free agency. Everybody has equal playing field. I mean, as far as the windows are concerned, everybody has equal playing field for the NFL draft, for OTAs, for training camp, for their practices throughout the week. Everybody has equal playing field for the amount of games that they play. Like, why are we not having equal playing field for coaching? Like, it's a lot to expect Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn to do while they're getting their teams prepared. And I understand this is the off week, but while they're getting ready for playoff games to also be interviewing. They've done it in the past. It just is kind of a bummer, and it puts us behind the eight ball the more we keep winning if we want to refill the position. All right. Hey, thank you so much for watching this. Let me know who you're most worried to lose, and also good news when it cocomes to Monty and Rake Straw and a couple more. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.